welcome to today's webinar. This is a series, okay? So we're going to be going through a series of different webinars, and we're starting today with Autodesk Docs, and just making people aware of maybe what they have entitled to them within their AEC collection. So just to begin with, I'm going to start with a little bit of a PowerPoint, and then we'll go straight into the interface itself, and to show you some of the main features that Autodesk Docs has available to it. So just to give you a little bit of an agenda today. So what I'm going to speak about first is a little bit about myself, a little bit about symmetry, and again how ACC evolved and how it came about. We'll go into a live demo, and then again we'll just speak about some of the services that we have available to ourselves. So the first thing is just a little bit about myself. So my name is Jero Sullivan. I'm an AEC technical specialist here within Symmetry. I mainly deal with the likes of specializing in cloud services, the AEC collection. I do training in ACC, BIM 360, Revit, and in AutoCAD as well. So just to give you a little bit about Symmetry itself. So we have 800 or over now 800 employees in 7 different countries, over 30 different offices, and we have over 250,000 users daily. And up to this date, we have acquired nearly 22 acquisitions inside here. So the latest one being in the US with Microdesk. So again, we are now Autodesk's #1 global partner, and we are a platinum partner as well. So what I'm going to speak about now is how Autodesk Docs came about. Okay, so a lot of people aren't aware that when you have an AEC collection, you have over 20 different softwares available to you. The main ones people use are the likes of Revit and AutoCAD. You also have the likes of Navisworks Manage, but one that came into fruition there in the last year is Autodesk Docs. So again, these are some of the main softwares that the AEC collection has. But what we're focused on today is Autodesk Docs and some of the main features within that. So how did the ACC come about? Okay, so again, how did it evolve? So the ACC or the Autodesk Construction Cloud came about through continued investment. So investment in the likes of BIM 360, PlanGrid and Assemble, which meant that Autodesk then came about with meaningful integrations. So they started to integrate those together. And what they did was they created one unified platform. So Autodesk's main aim is to provide a complete portfolio of construction management tools. And what this amalgamation has allowed you to do is unify those products together to make one solid solution. So here is some of the main subscriptions entitlements within the ACC collection. So you have Autodesk BIM Collaborate, which allows people to increase transparency, manage risks, and facilitate more efficient design collaboration. And what that means is allows you to host your models in the cloud. So the likes of your Revit models, your AutoCAD files can all be hosted in the cloud and can be worked on in the cloud, which means that you don't have to, people are now working from the office, working from the home. They have different work environments. So it allows people without any delay to access Revit models that are in the cloud. You don't need to VPN into a server to access them. You can access them straight from your own home and open them up directly because they're in the cloud. You then have Autodesk Takeoff, which allows you to provide accurate 2D and 3D takeoffs. And again, everything is from the cloud. It is on one cloud and one common data environment. You have Autodesk Build, which connects office to site. It allows you to control project management, cost, quality, project closeout, and safety management, so the likes of using forms and checklists. And it also gives you a mobile app. So whether you have an iPad or an iPhone, you can download the ACC app and you can directly work from your phone, which will connect back up into that specific project and allow the people back in the office then to see the changes that you have made, whether it be to the likes of a checklist, a specific asset that was out in site, or if you were marking up a drawing from ACC. But what we're going to focus on today is just the key foundations of ACC, which is Autodesk Docs, similar to BIM 360 Docs. And again, you can see that at the bottom of the screen inside here, you have the likes of controlling your document, your versioning, your automated versioning, and going through your review stage as well inside here. So what I'm going to go to do now is I'm going to go into the live environment inside here. So inside here, the first thing inside here, what we're going to focus on today is just Autodesk Docs to give you a brief overview of the interface itself. So if you had more entitlements, like I just spoke about, whether it be BIM Collaborate or Autodesk Build, if you click on the drop down inside here, you will see those entitlements here on the left hand side. You sign into this page by coming up here to the top right hand corner. You can see that I have signed in with my own Autodesk email address and password, similar to if you're working inside in Revit. Same email, same password that you normally do. So to come about this, every customer who has an AEC collection, you can create one hub for your company. And anybody who has been assigned that AEC collection can get access into that hub. And that hub allows you to have unlimited projects and unlimited storage. So you can see inside here the multiple different projects that I have available to me by just clicking on the drop down, and I can see those inside here. Now with that then inside here, like I said, you have unlimited storage and you have unlimited projects. So it doesn't matter how many projects you create or what file formats you're uploading into this. So ACC allows you to have over 50 different file formats, from Office, Word, Excel, to Revit and AutoCAD, or even to like IFC files or point clouds. You can host them all inside here and you can view them directly from here as well. So if you didn't have a Revit license, or if you didn't have an AutoCAD license, if you had a Docs license, you can be invited into the project and you can view those files directly from here. So I will show you that in a few minutes. But the first thing that you're going to do is when you create a project, you're going to look at the folder structure. So every company has their own specific folder structure, and a lot of companies would have created this based off their servers that they would have worked on previously. So you can see inside here I have a WIP folder, a shared, published, archived, and so on. So all of these are fully controlled by permissions. So if I was inviting in any externals onto this project, I can control what folders they can see, what subfolders they can see, and what they can do with the files that are within those folders. And that's all controlled through this members area inside here. So inside here you can see the members that are inside here, you can see what company they're associated to, and you can give them specific roles. So the key thing is inside here is if people across a project don't just have one role, you can assign multiple roles to multiple individuals inside here. And then you can see the entitlements that they have inside here. So you can see that this project isn't just an Autodesk Docs project, it is also with BIM Collaborate. So you can see the entitlements are with design, model coordination, and you can see takeoff as well inside here. So once you create the project, you create your folder structure, you will add in your members inside here, and you will give those members specific roles and their company as well. And when you do that, you'll come back into the files area, and from here then what you can do is you can right click on a specific file, you can go permissions, and inside here then you can either add them from their specific username or you can add them through their company. So adding them through their company allows you to not have to micromanage a project. So inside here, if I was to add in, let's say my colleague Elaine into this, I was to give her the company as Symmetry, she would automatically inherit this WIP folder. So you're not having to micromanage when you add someone in as a user into the project. You're not having to come in here and manually add those into each individual subfolder. And the way that this works then as well is that once you create your top tier folder, they will automatically inherit any subfolders within that. Okay, so if I was to add in a lane inside here into the WIP folder, she will automatically inherit all subfolders within that as well. And again, that's just controlling the permissions and allowing people to make sure that you have given them the right permissions inside here. So not only can you control what they see in terms of the files and folders, but then you can see that you can control whether they can just view files that are inside here, where they can view, download, and maybe publish markups, or you can see whether they can publish markups and edit the files and folders directly inside here. And again, that's just a little bit about permissions. Also, if you're adding someone in as maybe an external contractor, or you want to be able to see exactly what's going on in a specific folder yourself, if you want to see any changes that are going on in that specific folder, what you can do is come down into More, and you can subscribe to that folder. So what that means is that as a project is going through its life cycle, when changes are made to specific files that are within it, you can subscribe to it. So again, you'll get notifications then of any changes that are happening directly in that folder. So as well, you can see some of the other entitlements that I don't want to get too much into, but you can choose to add subfolders. You can choose to rename folders if you made a mistake. If you want to share it, okay, so if you want to send a link to someone so that they can click on that link and get directly into that specific folder, you can share it. If you made a mistake with your folder structure, you can move it from one folder to the next. That would be more specific with the subfolders that are within that. Anything with uploading files, you can do that too. You can download an entire folder, and you can see again, you can submit for review and create transmittals, which I'll also go through in a second. So the main thing is inside here is it supports over 50 different file formats. And as long as the files remain the same, it will automatically version control those files. So you can see inside here, it's gone from version 1 up as far as version 27. So again, the key thing is here is as long as the file name stays the same, the version history will automatically update inside here. And I can select on that version 27 and I can see all the versions inside here. And if I wanted to make one of those the current version or download it, I can choose to do that as well inside here. So now what I'll go to, and I'll just show you how you can inspect a specific file inside here. So inside here now, again, this is just having an Autodesk Docs license. This is a Revit model and a native Revit model, but I don't necessarily need a Revit license to open this. All you need is an Autodesk Docs. So inside here in the top left-hand corner, I can choose to see what 3D or views have been published within the model and what 2D files. So if I wanted to change between 2D and 3D, I can inspect all drawings that are associated to that 3D model. I'll switch back to 3D here for a second. What you can also do inside in the 3D view is based off the levels that are inside in Revit, you can specify a specific level and then you can actually inspect that inside here. So inside here then I can navigate just on that second floor, and if I wanted to, I could just do a walkthrough of that and specify any snags. Also, you can see any issues that are associated to the model. So if you were a project manager, again, you don't necessarily need a Revit license to come and inspect a Revit model. You can come inside here and you can see all issues that are associated with a model. And again, if I wanted to see anyone specifically and the information associated with that, I could left click on the issue. It would bring me directly where the issue was created inside in the Revit or inside in this view. And you can see then the information that's associated with that again. So again, I'll just back out of that here for a second. So inside here, I'll switch back into my roof. Easier to come back out. So inside here, the key thing with this is, like I said, you have specific versions. So I have version 27 inside here. Now, if I wanted to inspect how that has changed between version 26 and version 27, what I can do is come up here into the top right-hand corner, select on compare, and I can compare it between version 26. So inside here, the only key thing that you have to do inside here is make sure that you're clashing the same view. So as long as the view name is the same, I can go compare inside here. And what that will do now is it'll show me the changes that were made between version 26 and version 27. So it'll give you in a dashboard over here on the right-hand side. You can see one item is added, 3 were modified, and if I wanted to, I could filter just to show me the items that were added. So you can see that there was one window, and I can see the items that were modified. So inside here, you can select down into the individual elements. You can see that currently it's showing where it is in version 27, but if I select on version 26, you can see that it's originally on this location over here. It also tells you the distance that it's moved by. So this model is just in imperial units, so it gives me in feet and inches. But again, normally we would work in metric systems, so that would give you a metered distance as to how that has changed. So inside here you can see again the visual representation. So you don't need to be an expert Revit user to see the changes. You can visually see how they've changed as well inside here. And if you wanted to export that out as a report, you can simply just click on the download inside here, and that would export what's called a differential report. Alright, so that is the viewing capabilities of a Revit model inside here. It not only works with Revit models, it can work with Navisworks, it can work with AutoCAD files. So again, same thing inside here. If I was to select into an AutoCAD file, I could visually see an AutoCAD file inside here, and I could run the same comparison inside here. So if I wanted to see how it's changed between version 9 and version 8, again, you can make sure you associate the same layouts. I can run that comparison tool, and what it does is it shows it in a color coordination inside here. So if there was any changes inside here, you can see in red the version 9, and then in blue then what the changes were as well inside here. So the other ability you have inside here is to provide issues and markups. So I'm going to switch back into the 3D view to show you how powerful this is. Alright, so just go back in here into the 3D view and into the Revit model. So what you can do inside here is, like I just showed there as a snap point inside here, you have your list of issues. I'm going to go into that in a little bit more detail. So what you can do is you can provide what's called a first-person walkthrough. So again, you don't need to be a Revit expert to know how to navigate around this model in ACC. So you could provide a walkthrough inside here, double-click into the model and start walking through the model. And if you found any issues that were associated with that, what you can do is you can stop at that area, and inside here you have the issue categories inside here. So I can select on the issue categories. I can say this is a coordination issue. I can select on where the issue is on site, and what that will allow me to do then is pre-populate the information that were associated with that. So again, if there was any externals on this project, what I could do is I can assign that issue to them. So in this case, my colleague Deborah, she will now get a notification email to say that she's been assigned that issue. She will get an email link as well. So when she selects on the link in the email, it will bring me directly into this view, into where I created this issue in the first place. So what I could do is I could give a description of that. I could say event in the wrong location. And inside here, again, I can pre-populate all this information inside here. So I could scroll down inside here if it was a specific location. I'd say building 1, I could say entry level. I could manually type out that location as well inside here. The start date of this is today, and the due date, this needs to be resolved by Friday. So she has until Friday to contractually then review and close out that issue. So if she was to come in here and click into this issue, what she could do is she can change the status of this from open to in review, and that will then indicate to me then that she is now looking at that issue. And again, inside here, what she could do inside here, or what I can do is I can use this as, like, if anybody's used to Facebook, you could add someone inside here, and then inside here I could maybe want to tie in my colleague Sean. I could say, maybe Sean, can you please review? And he will get a notification to say that he is being mentioned in an issue, and then again he can visually see then how that issue is progressing as well. Alright, and there are some of the main capabilities of, again, just viewing files inside an ACC. So what else is there inside here? So what we will also go through are some of the lists on the left hand side inside here, and some of the main capabilities that you have with just I suppose the project administrative side of this. So as well, if you're trying to look for a specific file inside here, what you could do is you click on this search and filter option inside here. So again, if I just go to the top tier inside here, I go to the search item inside here, and I can search all folders within this top tier. So anything that is below project files, it will search those folders inside here. So you can see it can go current folders and all subfolders and all content. So a new item that has been added inside here is the updated by option. So if you knew that someone had come in yesterday and that specific user had, let's say, edited a file or updated a file, and you didn't know the location of that, what you could do is you could select on that specific user, search for it, and it will bring up all files or folders that were updated by that specific user inside here, and then you can easily navigate to the file that you're looking for. But what I can do inside here is I can just go, again, search for specific folders, or maybe the status or the file types. So inside here I can search for specific file types, so PDFs, and if files were gone through an approval process, I can search for all files that have been approved. and I can click search. And you can see that all of these current PDFs have been approved. So if I come over here to the right hand side, you can see the status of all these have been approved. And if I wanted to save that search, so again, if anybody is used to Navisworks, so saving sets inside Navisworks, I can save that search inside here. So I don't have to go in and specify the same filters as I did before, that I can just save that search inside here. And then inside in the search save searches, that automatically comes up inside here. So I can just select on that. It would bring me back into the same area of what I had filtered maybe the day before. Also, you have the ability to do inside here is create custom attributes, scan for any duplicate files that have come across in your project to make sure that there's maybe no overlaps and the wrong versions aren't in the wrong place. And you can see that again, just you can set up what's called a naming standard. So you can set up an ISO compliant project whereby any specific files that are uploaded need to be named correctly to ISO 19650. So inside here, I won't get too much into this, but inside here you could choose to modify that, export it, or download it as a template. And if I wanted to customize that and a specific way that it's going to be named, I could select on the customize option inside here, and the naming convention that's going across here, I can customize that, so how a file is going to be named. If you wanted to enforce this on any specific files, I could select those folders. So it's not going to go across all folders that are within a project. You can specify specific folders that ISO 19650 is going to be enforced on. And you can see if I go back into the files area, that is represented by this cogwheel inside here. Alright, and that's just specifically with files and folders. So what I'm going to go through now is some of these brief points inside here. So like I was just speaking about there, you can set up approval processes whereby maybe a file needs to go from design to construction. So you can set up inside in the reviews area, the review approval process. So you do that by selecting into the reviews and coming over here to the settings area. Selecting into the settings area, you can see that we have some basic approval processes going through inside here. So I have one that goes from the WIP folder into the shared folder, one that goes into the published folder, and you can see that I've split it out into specific disciplines. If I select into any one of those to show you, you can see that I can give that a name, a description of how it should be used, and who the initiators are. So that means who can create the review process inside here. So you can see that all Symmetry and ProCAD users can create the review, and it's going to go to my colleague Deborah for the approval process inside here. So as I scroll down, then you can see I can set up when it's approved, ejected, or approved with comments. And if any files that are approved inside here, I can set it up that any files that are approved within that approval process will automatically go into the shared folder and directly into the architects folder within that shared location. So I'm going to go run through now how it actually is set through that approval process. So what you'll do is you'll come back into the files area, you'll delve down into the folder where you want to actually submit those drawings. So inside here I have a batch of drawings that I want to submit. I'll tick on the box to select them all, click on the three dots, and I'll submit for review. Inside here then you will select your review process, and because I'm a project administrator, I can see all of these review processes inside here. But if you had any externals inside here, you can limit the permissions and the visibility as to what they can see. So they might only have one option that they can select from, and again, you're making sure that they always select on the right approval process. So I'm going to go WIP to shared for the architect, and I'll give this a name. So I'll just go ground floor drawings. So inside here again, oh yeah, so that actually needs to be validated for name. So I'll just remove these two. So this is because they're ISO, not ISO compliant. So I'll just submit these two inside here. And what that will do is Deborah will now get a notification to say that she has been submitted for review. And I'll send that notification to her. So she'll now get an email notification to say that she needs to review 2 files that I have uploaded. So again, she'll get an email link, and when she selects on that link, it will bring her directly into this review process inside here, where then she can see the open review that's currently inside here. So again, this is all permission based. So if I was an external contractor inside here, I would not be able to see any reviews that are not associated to me inside here. So I'll just take the role as Deborah inside here, so I can select on that review. And inside here again, because I'm a project administrator, I can override the access. So I can start that review, and I can review the files that she has uploaded inside here. So I could choose to inspect them by selecting into them and reviewing the contents of those drawings. I could choose to add in any markups. So if I want to add in any area where I thought maybe it needs to be reviewed, I could just add in an area inside here. I could associate some text with that if I wanted to, or if I wanted to create an issue based off that inside here. Rather than a markup, I want to flag that as an issue. So I want to say coordination. Inside here, then I could give a description. I say remove circles on drawing, and those could be revision circles. I'll assign it back to, let's say, the user. It would have been myself in this case. And again, that's tracking that as like an issue log or a snag list as well. So if I still want to approve that, I'll go approved with comments, and I can come back out here then, and you can see that one's now approved. So I now need to inspect this one. So you'll see I'll just reject that one then. And when I've created or filled out the status of both of those, I can then submit that for review. So now you can see any documents that have been approved will automatically go into the shared folder and into that architects folder inside here. So directly into that PDF drawing. So if I click on submit then, only the ones that have been approved will get automatically published into that area. So if I come back into files, into shared, architect, and PDF drawings, you can see inside here those documents then, and this CAD file has just come in. So the second CAD file is still remaining in that work in progress folder where I had originally submitted it from. And again, that's just reviews. You can create as many review templates as you want, and again, controlling the permissions based off those. So inside here you can see I could not submit the other two DWGs because they were not ISO compliant. So ACC recognized that they weren't ISO compliant. So again, that didn't allow me to push them through that workflow inside here. So what I'll move on to now is, again, transmittals. Transmittals is like a way of formally sending documents to someone. So it's kind of like a WeTransfer, but it remains inside an ACC. So inside here I could go create transmittal. I'll just select the files again that I want inside here. So I'll just come inside here. I can select folders too. So if I select that specific CAD folders inside here, I'll select it. Again, the recipients of this will be Deb in this case. And again, view permissions inside here, can see all recipients. So I can create that then, and it's just tracked inside here then. So that transmittal is then sent to Deb, and again, she'll get an email notification to say that she's been sent a transmittal. And when she selects on the link, it will bring her directly into this area. So what it allows you to do is it allows you to download those and bring them offline. So anything that's downloaded off of the cloud is offline. But it might be also a way of just, again, if someone wasn't sure where files were located, you could send them a transmittal. And what they can do is just select on the link then, and that will bring them directly into that folder. So it's another way of sharing documents as well, along with the share option that I showed you inside here. So that's just transmittals. Again, it's just a formal way of sending documents to someone. So as I've been talking through here, I've been creating issues, or 2 or 3 issues. And all of these are captured in this issues area inside here. So again, if you're maybe internal members or if you're external contractors, if you don't have project administrator rights or permissions, then you will only see the issues that are associated to you or maybe your company. So inside here, I can see all issues that are associated in the project. But if I was a member, I would just be able to see the issues that are associated to myself. So inside here, what you can do is you can come in and you can select on an issue. You can see all the information that's associated with that. But if you wanted to see directly where that issue was on a file, it gives you a hyperlink to that file. So I can select on the link. It'll bring me directly into the folder structure, directly into that specific file and the area where that issue was created. So you can see all issues that are currently in your project, and if you wanted to see the exact location of them, you can select on the information and then select on the hyperlink associated with that. And all of these tracks all issues that are currently in a project. You can see the type, and all of these can be fully customized. So inside here, if I wanted to add any more information to the issue, so maybe like a severity or a quality or a priority, I could add another type into that issue type inside here. And again, only project administrators can do those. So if I click on settings inside here, these are all the settings that a project admin can control inside here. So I could create any new types of issues. So if you want to do specific to your own custom or company issue types, any custom fields, which are these fields here inside the information associated with an issue, I could control all permissions, any root causes, and I can set up also what's called a template. So inside here, if I just show you inside here, I have two templates already created, one for coordination and one for quality. And inside here, you can create a template whereby when you're creating an issue, you can select on a template type. And when you select on that template type, it will pre-populate this information inside here, so you don't have to manually fill out that information for every issue that you're going to create. So again, it's just a way of maximizing the efficiency that's inside in the project itself. So back inside here, you can also export out reports. So inside here, I could choose to filter by all issues that are assigned to myself. And inside here, then if I wanted to export out a report to that, if I was going to a site meeting, I could choose to export out a report. And you can see inside here, it can either be a detailed or just a summary. And I can choose a cover page, table of contents, any custom fields, and any photos that were involved with it as well. And I could run that report, and that will then give me a PDF then based off the report of these 6 issues that I have filtered by inside here. So again, that's just tying in with this reports area inside here. So you can see that that issue detail is now running. And again, you can see again, because it's Autodesk Docs, it's the very starting point of ACC. So if you had the likes of Autodesk Build or even BIM Collaborate, you would have a lot more areas that you could report from. But inside here, you mainly just have the issue detail that's inside here. And if you wanted to, you could set up templates that are associated with that. So the main aim with ACC is it allows people to control their own information. So if you were, let's say, if you were one of those subcontractors and you were constantly being invited into a main contractor's ACC hub, well, inside here, this gives you the ability to control your own information. You can have all your own information associated to your own hub, and when you want to give the information to the main contractor, you could set up what's called a bridge. And a bridge allows you to push your information from one project to another. So I'm going to show you how you can set up that inside here. So what you can do is inside here is you can come in, you can delve down into the specific folder that you want. You can select on the files. So it can be either a file or it can be a folder. And I'm going to show you the difference between the two. I'll click on the 3 dots and I'll go share. So if I wanted to share to another project, so again, if it was a main contractor site or if it was another company's site, I could select to another project. And as long as I have the permissions to upload into that other folder on that other site, I could select on that specific one. I could select on the specific project inside here, and then select on the specific folders that I want to push that into. So inside here, I'll just go down into the architectural design and into drawings. I'll just go into the CAD files inside here. I'll select that inside here, and the title of this will be ground floor drawings. So I'll share those. And what that's done now is if I go back into Bridge, it'll give me a list then of the Bridge projects inside here, and it'll push those bridged elements out into it. So you'll see any outgoing ones inside here. You can see that I have pushed those ground floor drawings into the AEC build 2023. And you can see that if I was to go into that inside here, so I'll just open up a new tab, and I'll go into that build project just to show you that they've been brought in. So again, delving down into the folder structure, design, architecture, drawings, and CAD files. You can see that they're now syncing into that folder inside here. All right, so you can bridge files, but you can also bridge folders. And the ability of bridging folders, what that allows you to do is set up an automated bridge. So any, let's say, additional changes that were made to files inside that specific folder, or maybe just a version was to update, or maybe new files were added, ACC would recognize that. So inside here, you can not only bridge files, but you can bridge folders. So if I select on the three dots and go share again, I'll go to another project, you will see that now I have this option here to automatically sync the updates. And what that will do is it'll recognize any changes that were done to that folder and the contents within that. And when those changes are made, it will automatically push that to the desired folder on the other project. So inside here again, I'll select that project inside here. And maybe I'll select on a different folder just to show, for example, drawings, and I'll go PDFs this time. And inside here again, I'll just do the same thing. I go ground floor drawings, and I'll share that. So back inside here, if I go to bridge now, you can see that a new bridge project has appeared inside here. If I select on it, you can see that I've set up one active automated bridge. And when I select on that inside here, it shows you the exact folder that I have automated inside here. So if I ever wanted to pause that, if I ever wanted to pause it for a couple of weeks, I could choose to pause it, or if I wanted to delete that automation as well inside here. So if I go back into that build project, go back into PDFs, that will then sync through inside here. So you can see that new folder has come in inside here, and the contents have been pushed through within that. So this indicator then tells you where or what projects that has come from the other side then as well. And again, that's just an overview of what Autodesk Docs has available to you. So just to summarize this back inside here then, some of the advantages that Autodesk Docs has is, again, like I said, it has unlimited projects and storage. It has folder structures where you can set up to control permissions. It has that automated folder or automated version control. You can do file comparison within it. It can control all issues that are associated to a project, and it allows people to only see the issues that are assigned to them. You can do and enforce the ISO 19650 naming enforcement, and you can see that it also does automated bridge inside here. So again, if you have any questions, by all means, please do ask. And if you want to find out any more information or want to have a call at myself, please feel free to reach out.